Of course, Rochelle has to come in as the favorite, but Hinderleiter didn't get here because he was no good. So we got to remember that.
Hinderleiter in the gold and maroon singlet. Rochelle from Plainville in the red singlet. Again, Hinderleiter from Silver Lake having some trouble with his headgear, just underway. No score at 152 pounds. And notice the action just continues at a pretty fast pace. For Cole Rochelle, he's rated first coming in, and Phil Hinderleiter is unranked, but he's had a tremendous tournament to get here. To this point, he beat Schrammick of Atwood 14-7 in a high-scoring affair in the semifinals to make his way to the finals. Rochelle beat Davidson of Smith Center 4-1 to make it here for his 29th win as they work their way to the outside circle. For the Plainville Cardinals, head coach Brad Fredrickson looking for back-to-back titles, not to be. For the Silver Lake Eagles, head coach Harry Lamar.
Well, we see ourselves in kind of a standoff situation here. Rochelle can't go in and do anything because he'll be off the mat if he does. And of course, Hinderleiter trying to keep that head and crank it down where he can do some damage. So we're going to go back to the middle and start it all over again.
51 seconds and counting in this second period. Boy, great crowd. As I said, if you haven't had a chance to check one of these out in person, make sure you do so. Rochelle coming in was 6th at 145 pounds in last year's state tournament. He's a 4-time state qualifier. So he's been here before. And for Hinderleiter, well, he wasn't at the state tournament to our knowledge last year. Coming in, he was first at the Rossville Regional, so he had to do a good job there. And you got to imagine the Silver Lake school, the Silver Lake Club, has wrestled against some bigger schools, I would imagine.
Hinderleiter's awful close to a takedown, and so is Rochelle. It's one of those situations now where we're going to wind up with a stalemate and start up again.
Boy, both so close yet so far. Stalemate with 8 seconds left, back to the standing position. Does Silver Lake get some bigger school competition?
They're starting to, I think. They're close enough to Topeka there that they wrestle a lot of 4A schools and probably the Topeka schools. So I'm sure that's helping their program because competition makes a program in wrestling.
Well, it sure does. And Silver Lake trying to crack into that top 5 this year. Stockton, as we said, with the team title in their pocket. Oakley and Plainville and Atwood battling, and maybe even Silver Lake battling for a top 5 finish right now. It's down between Oakley and Plainville for second. We'll let you know on those team totals when we get them.
I believe that even where they're sitting right now is probably the best finish Silver Lake's ever had in the state tournament, and that's just another example of a program coming along.
Rochelle tried to step away, and as he did so, went out of bounds, so they'll come back to center circle with 1:34 in the second period. No score, as we said. Seen that a few times. We've only had one pin in the first. That was Johnston from Stockton. 43 seconds left, sticking his opponent.
Okay. We have Rochelle trying to get the escape over there, and of course Hinderleiter doing everything he can to hang on, so they finally step out of bounds.
Hinderleiter won his first match over Gurley of Minneapolis by a fall. Then he got by Griffin from Chase County 10-6 to get into the semi.
Well, and as you mentioned earlier, in the semifinals, there goes Rochelle with a reversal to take the lead. But Hinderleiter beat Kerry Schrammick's younger brother in the semifinals last night in what I thought was a pretty good match. The score is 14-7, but it was like a 1-point match until about 30 seconds left.
Rochelle in control right now, but he really slid down and was riding kind of high. Is there a danger in doing that when you ride a little bit too high?
Yes, you want to be careful about getting high because the higher you get, the greater the chance of being turned. And here he goes. Now he's getting high for leverage, but he's not getting enough turn yet. He needs to use those legs to help him turn. And a lot of times these boys with these legs, they get them in and they try to turn from the shoulders up there, but they're working against themselves on the legs. They need to be able to use those legs to help turn.
12 seconds and counting in the second period, 2-0. Rochelle out in front trying to break that plane. The official keeps making that perpendicular line, saying, nope, he's not there yet. Yep, that's going to end the second period. So again, they head out of bounds as a Hinderleiter tries to step out and get some escape points, but he can't do it. Rochelle doing a good job holding on, and boy, a lot of work. He got close to a near fall and never got any points though for it. Out in front, 2-0 going into the third period.
Yeah, you gotta break that 45-degree angle in order to get that near fall, and if you can't do that, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's 45, not perpendicular, right? 45 degrees.
The reason he's showing the perpendicular sign there is he's just showing that he hasn't broken the 45-degree plane yet. But now we have a tie match again. That was a good switch there by Hinderleiter.
Boy, he rolled through just the move before, and Rochelle hung on, and now Hinderleiter able to switch and get a reversal, and he's on top. Tie score, 2-2, a minute 30 and counting.
Hinderleiter would like nothing better than to be able to get that near fall himself. He's going for the guillotine. Got his legs hooked, trying to pull that arm back.
A minute 8 and counting in the third period at 152 pounds. And a stalemate, they say. This is the second stalemate they've had this match. Cole Rochelle, as seniors, had a terrific career. Great year. This year he was first at the Mid-Continent League. He took second at the Phillipsburg Regional to Kubik, a terrific wrestler from Lincoln. But his fourth time to state, 6th place last year for the Plainville Cardinals when they took that state championship.
Now we had that stalemate called there. Of course, Hinderleiter had the legs in and he was trying to work the guillotine, but he wasn't able to get anywhere with it. So they call it a stalemate because nobody's going anywhere. Now he's going for the banana split, and that's just exactly what he wanted done.
40 seconds in the third period.
But he didn't get any points out of it. When Rochelle grabbed his head there, that would normally be what the man would want there, so he could use that to turn him. Now he's trying to work that Granby cradle. Of course, Hinderleiter doing everything he can to stay on top and stay in control.
Tie score 2-2, 15 seconds left in the third period.
And where we could be on the verge of points. There's one for Rochelle. Hinderleiter just let himself get a little bit too loose and he couldn't hang on.
Wow. Cole Rochelle will have his hand raised at 152 pounds. Thought we might be going to overtime. Hinderleiter, an unranked wrestler coming in, had a terrific tournament, couldn't pull off this upset against the number 1 rated Cole Rochelle of Plainville. Wow. And he earned that one. I would imagine, as you said, just too much daylight between Hinderleiter and Rochelle, and that cost him the escape point.
Rochelle got that movement going, and the more he moved, the more it loosened up, and finally he was able to just turn in and back off for the 1 point.
Wow, there's a hug with head coach Brad Fredrickson and senior Cole Rochelle as he picks up his 30th win of the year. That means a championship at 152, and